Jake Miller was 10 years old the first time he kicked a soccer ball on the sun-baked field behind Oak Ridge Elementary School in Ohio. The field wasn't even meant for soccer, no goals, no lines, not even flat ground, but to Jake, it felt like a stadium. His shoes were 2 sizes too big, a hand-me-down from his cousin. The ball was deflated and patched with duct tape. But when he kicked it between 2 orange cones, his heart exploded with joy. In that moment, he felt alive in a way he never had before. That evening, Jake ran home, covered in dirt and sweat. His brown eyes sparkled with excitement as he burst into the kitchen. "Mom, I know what I want to be when I grow up," excited tone, breathless. His mother, Laura Miller, looked up from peeling potatoes. She had been working double shifts at the diner, her face tired, her back sore. "Oh yeah?" Soft chuckle, teasing tone she asked, half smiling, "Let me guess, a superhero." Jake shook his head with fierce determination. "No, Mom. I want to be a professional soccer player. I want to play for America. I want to go to Europe. I want to be the best." Serious, passionate tone. Laura chuckled, but she saw the fire in her son's eyes and knew this wasn't one of those fleeting childhood dreams. "Well then," she said, handing him a carrot stick, "start training. Dreams like that need fuel." Encouraging, gentle tone. And so he did, every single day. The problem was that Oak Ridge, a small town nestled between cornfields and broken-down silos, didn't have much of a soccer scene. Football was king, wrestling was close behind, baseball came next. Soccer, that was something kids did when they didn't make other teams. But Jake didn't care. He practiced on his own, dribbling between trees in the backyard, setting up goals with plastic chairs, and racing imaginary opponents. He watched YouTube videos of Ronaldo, Messi, Neymar, studying every move, every step over, every trick. At 13, Jake convinced his school's PE teacher to let him start a soccer club. Only 5 kids showed up. No jerseys, no coaches, no real equipment, but they played every day after school, barefoot on patches of dry grass. Jake became the team's unofficial captain. He wasn't the most skilled player yet, but he had something the others didn't: relentless drive. He never complained, never took a break, and he always encouraged his teammates, even when they lost scrimmage after scrimmage against better schools. Then came the turning point. One crisp morning, Jake was practicing alone, weaving through cones he made from empty water bottles, when a rusted pickup truck rolled up and parked nearby. A middle-aged man with salt and pepper hair stepped out, wearing worn-out cleats and carrying a whistle. "You train hard," the man said in a thick Spanish accent. Jake paused, out of breath. "Thanks, I'm trying to get better," humble tone. The man nodded. "You've got passion, but passion without direction is just noise," wise, direct tone. That man was Mr. Alvarez, a retired semi-professional soccer player from Mexico City who had recently moved to Oak Ridge to live with his daughter. Over the next 2 years, Mr. Alvarez became Jake's mentor, coach, and second father. Every weekend, they trained in the park. Mr. Alvarez taught him everything: ball control, defensive tactics, set pieces, mental focus, recovery, nutrition. He didn't go easy on Jake, and Jake didn't want him to. He trained through blisters, rain, bruises, and exhaustion. By the time Jake turned 16, he was dominating local tournaments. Still, getting noticed by big clubs was another story. He started sending highlight videos to soccer academies, high school scouts, even amateur clubs in larger cities. Most didn't reply. Those who did sent polite rejections. "Thank you for your interest, but not the right fit. Not in our age bracket." Each rejection stung, but Jake didn't stop. He printed every email and pinned it to his wall as a reminder of what he was working toward. "Each no brings me closer to my yes," he whispered every night before going to sleep, hopeful tone. And then one day, that yes came. It was an email from the Denver Academy of Soccer, inviting Jake for a tryout. They had seen a video clip Mr. Alvarez had posted online and were willing to give Jake a chance. Jake and his mom couldn't afford plane tickets, so they took a Greyhound bus, traveling 20 hours across 3 states. Jake brought a single backpack, his worn cleats, and hope thicker than his socks. At the tryouts, he stood among kids with club experience, designer gear, and private trainers. He felt like a misfit. The drills were brutal. Jake made mistakes. He slipped during sprints, botched a couple of passes. But when the scrimmage began, something clicked. He didn't think, he played. He out-hustled the midfield. He stole the ball from boys twice his size. He scored a rocket goal from 30 yards out and assisted the winning goal with a perfect lob. After the game, one of the coaches pulled him aside. "You're rough," he said, "but you've got heart." Jake waited, his heart hammering in his chest. "Welcome to the academy," softly, with a smile. Jake broke into a grin and called Mr. Alvarez right after. They both cried over the phone. The next year at the academy was grueling. Jake trained 6 hours a day, juggled schoolwork, and lived in dorms far from home. He missed his mom, missed Oak Ridge, missed holidays, but he pushed through. At 18, after 2 years of intense training, Jake got a call from a semi-pro team in California. It wasn't glamorous. The pay was low, the hours were long, but it was a professional contract. He called his mom, speechless. She cried happy tears. He called Mr. Alvarez, who said, "You're not done, Jake. This is just the start." Jake spent 2 years grinding in the semi-pro circuit. He traveled by bus, played in front of tiny crowds, and worked part-time at a coffee shop to make ends meet. But he never stopped working. Every practice, every match, every moment, he gave it everything. Then, in a match against a visiting pro team, Jake scored twice and assisted once. Unbeknownst to him, a scout from FC Salt Lake was in the stands. 2 weeks later, he was offered a spot on the MLS roster. Jake Miller, the boy from the middle of nowhere, had made it to the big leagues. When he stepped onto the field for his first official match, the crowd roared. Somewhere in the stands were his mom, Mr. Alvarez, and his old teammates from Oak Ridge. They held up a homemade banner that read, "Chase every day, bold, passionate tone." Jake had those 3 words tattooed on his wrist. He didn't become the world's most famous player. He didn't score the World Cup winning goal. But he became a professional athlete, a role model, and a voice for kids from small towns with big dreams. He returned to Oak Ridge every off-season, built a youth soccer academy, and trained kids just like himself. He told them, "You don't need the best gear, you need the biggest heart," inspiring tone. And when a little boy once asked him, "Jake, how did you do it?" Jake smiled and replied, "I didn't wait for the door to open. I kept knocking, and then I kicked it down."